The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Show you the way. Let me be your shining light. Keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try.
Now, this is my show, Patty's Page, and I have a guest whose name is
Seth Drayer.
Seth Drayer. And you are the director of training for what organization?
Created Equal.
Tell me about that.
Sure, yeah. Created Equal is a pro-life organization with the mission of arming students with the apologetic skills to make a bold yet respectful case for life, and then we give them opportunities to go into the public square to actually start defending the preborn by creating conversations and discussing with people these questions of what is the preborn, human or not, to raise conversations and really just expose the injustice of abortion.
Now, you have had debates, right?
Yes, I have.
How did they turn out? I know it's positive.
Sure.
Because I've seen one of your debates, and that person did not make any sense to me, but you made a lot of sense.
Well, thank you, Patty. That's very kind of you to say. The last one was at Purdue University with Dr. Ralph Webb.
Ah, Ralph Webb, yeah.
What was most shocking to me about that debate is Ralph Webb, my position was, it is a moral crime, it is a human rights injustice to directly and intentionally kill an innocent human being.
Right.
And abortion does directly and intentionally kill an innocent human being, therefore abortion is wrong. He didn't critique too much my case that abortion kills a human. Really, his case was that there are no universal human rights, that it's not wrong for any of us to be killed, objectively speaking, only in a relative sense. He actually stood up on the stage and said, there are no universal human rights.
Wow, where did he get
shocking.
that?
It's shocking. He got that from the worldview that truth is relative.
Oh,
there's
New
no
Age?
objective right and wrong. So you have your truth, I have mine, but there's no true truth for anyone. And that's very tragic to me that a well-respected university, a very kind professor, can have this dangerous idea that there are no universal human rights.
And he was teaching that?
He's a professor of communications. He actually also said that sex trafficking could be moral in certain countries.
I don't think so.
No, absolutely. It's a moral crime. It should never be. It is never moral.
And Created Equal is located in Columbus, Ohio.
That's correct.
Is that far from here?
It's about 3 hours from here.
Ooh.
A little ways. Actually, I'm from Fort Wayne, though. I grew up here just south of Fort Wayne in a small town. Fort Wayne native.
All right.
And this camp, actually, Friends for Life, is kind of where I got my start doing pro-life apologetics. I helped organize the camp. Then I taught with Scott Klusendorf.
Yeah.
I taught basic apologetics while he taught the advanced level. And then now I'm teaching 201, which is the intermediary class of apologetics at this camp.
Is that what you're teaching today?
Yes, I am. It's called a Preborn Defenders 201 is what I call it.
What
that means is really, 101 is, what is the preborn, human or not? How do we know they're human? It looks at the science, the embryology. It looks at philosophical concerns of, are there relevant differences between preborn and born that justify killing one and not the other? And you and I know there's no relevant difference.
I mean, once you're conceived to the natural death, you are human. You are yourself.
Absolutely.
So people have rights.
Yes.
Even though this professor said it didn't.
Yes.
But we have rights. And you are here because of Friends for Life, and they have put together a pro-life boot camp. Now, what's the boot camp? What's that exactly?
Yeah, so a boot camp is, before we send our soldiers off to war, we have to give them basic training, right? A boot camp, we put them through the tough tests and give them all the challenges so they're ready to go fight the war. Yeah. The battle for preborn children really is a battle. There are children being killed. There are men and women carrying heavy burdens from their past abortions. And so if we're sending our youth out to that battle to start challenging the lies that the preborn are not human and start bringing the truth of healing to men and women with past abortions, they need to be put through a boot camp. They need to know how to make their case, and
How
not just the
to present,
content,
yeah.
yes, graciously, how to be respectful and loving toward people. So
There
this
will be-
prepares them.
There will be a lot of people being very, very, very negative
Yes.
and very vicious.
Yes.
So you're training them to be polite and be at peace
Absolutely.
and be able to gently talk about
Yes.
pro-life.
Absolutely, because really, at Created Equal, we know that the classroom knowledge of how to build a case for life is critical, but we take our students and our interns out to the field to go to downtown squares, go to college campuses, and engage in real conversation with real people, because we believe that's where they learn the art of dialogue. It's
Right.
not just science, how we know the preborn are human. It's how do you start a conversation? How do you respond graciously to tough objections? When someone's yelling at you angrily, how do you respond in
You know
love?
they're wounded, you know.
They are wounded, absolutely.
And that's why they strike out.
You know, Patty, that's so true. A couple of years ago, I was at Western Kentucky University, and one woman came up to me and told me that for 20 years,
Right.
she had hidden the secret of her abortion. She never told anyone until she met me, and I was standing in front of a picture of a child who was killed by abortion. She just pointed and said, "That's my baby," and the doctor wouldn't let me see it after the abortion.
There's no closure.
There's no closure.
No, they don't allow
So
them.
for years they carry these burdens, and we can meet them, you and I, and people that we're training at this boot camp, and share with them the truth that forgiveness comes through the gospel of Jesus Christ.
And I know of some people in my life, in the past, way in the past, have had abortions.
I'm very sorry.
And I had an aunt, my late mother's sister. She was an abortionist during the 60s and 70s up in
was.
Toronto. And I was the only one in the family that fought against it.
Really,
But
that'd be
it's-
hard to be the only person.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know how to sometimes approach people who I know have had abortion, how to help heal them. But I can't unless they want to open up.
That's right. And that's why I think we can't hide the truth of the sin of abortion, because for you and I to be forgiven before God,
Yeah.
we need to be aware of the sin we've committed, but then we ask His forgiveness, and the great truth is we can share with people that not only does God just forget their sin, but Jesus Christ actually died for their abortion, like He died for all of my sins. And so whether you've had an abortion or not, we're all forgiven through the same method, which is only one possible way: Christ's death and resurrection.
Yeah, we
So
just have
that's
to-
what we share with them.
We just have to share Christ with them.
Absolutely.
I know that some of the people who did get abortions many moons ago had more than one.
Yeah.
And they do not believe in Christ. They blame Him for all that's going on in their own lives. But I'm praying for them, you know.
Yes, and that's very important, that we must do that.
Yeah.
And as long as the church is silent on it,
Oh,
we're
no.
not giving people opportunities to find healing.
That's what I'm with Lutherans for Life
That's great.
here.
I love the
in
Lutherans
Fort
for
Wayne.
Life. They're a great organization.
And I'm also a volunteer for Allen County Right to Life. But, yeah, we're trying to reach our pastors. I'm Lutheran, so we're trying to reach all of our pastors here. There's this organization called Shepherds United.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know Wendell Brain is a part of that, my
Yeah.
former pastor.
Now, they're trying to reach out to all of Fort Wayne and the Allen County as well. Do you know?
The
Just
Allen,
Fort Wayne.
yes, I know Allen County. I'm sorry. Do I know the Shepherds United in
Yeah.
Allen County?
Or is it just Fort Wayne?
Oh, I don't know how broad the organization is. No, I'm sorry, I don't know
They're
that.
just beginning. It's been a couple of years since they've started. But what is your role in this event? You're a teacher as well. What else? Are you going to be speaking up there? Or
Tonight what you'll
Tonight.
see is Pam Stenzel is speaking, who is of Enlightened Communications, and she
Yeah.
is a gifted speaker
Right.
and trainer on many topics. Tonight, I'll begin my 201 class, which is, again, intermediary apologetics. Really, the goal of that is to really turn up the heat, because we really have to start going from just the basics
Right.
to how do we really fight against these tough objections. My class will be looking at the academic objections like bodily autonomy. In the 1971, Judith Jarvis Thompson, a famous philosopher, wrote a paper that still is one of the hardest objections against the pro-life case. And I'll be walking my students through how do we look at that and how do we respond to it with, again, good content, but again, graciously.
how many people are in the class?
My class has about 25 students, but I believe
Oh,
I've heard we
25.
have over 100 students here this weekend.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, a lot of younger people are starting to become pro-life.
They are.
I went to March for Life several years ago. I'd like to go again next year. A lot of kids were carrying banners. We are
Yeah.
pro-life. I used to be a fetus and all that.
We all did.
We used to. And there's no doubt about it. I mean, when we are conceived, we are alive, right?
Absolutely, because when you have a sperm from a man and ovum from the mother unite, there's a new something created called a one-celled zygote. And that something has all the criteria for biological life. It is
Right.
in she's in fact
That's
living.
us.
That's us.
Yeah.
She's a human because she has human parents. She
Not
can't
a
be a
blob
feline or a
like this.
canine. Yeah, not a blob.
Planned Parenthood.
Telling a lot of lies to people. And that's why we have to be ready to respond to all of these objections. And that really, again, is what this camp is about, giving students the tools and then Create Equal, we give them opportunities. We have what we call justice rides.
Right.
We go on the road with our students and we bring with us, we have two important elements.
Right.
The whistleblowers, which is all the students that we have trained to start blowing the whistle saying this is an injustice. We also have the victims. On our signs, we have pictures of children
Who have
killed by
been-
abortion because the victims need a role here too. They need to have a voice, right?
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
we have those two elements always: whistleblowers and victims at our events, and we.
And
well,
you've
we
had
fi-
survivors to
we have
help you out.
absolutely survivors of the abortion Holocaust.
Yeah.
You know them, great friends from the West Coast.
Yeah.
They're doing great work. And yeah, my interns and my executive director Mark Harrington are going to partner with survivors next week, and he's speaking
Oh.
at their camp.
Are you touring?
We tour, yeah. We do go on the road. In actually about 3 weeks, we hit the road with our Justice Ride to go. We leave from Columbus. We go to Cincinnati, to
Right.
Atlanta, Georgia, Birmingham, Alabama, Jackson, Mississippi, Nashville, Tennessee. We go all around with a busload of 50 students who
Right.
get out, go to downtown square, and then they share the truth.
Oh, my goodness. So I understand you work for Created Equal.
Yes, I do.
Who started it, Mark?
Mark Harrington. For many years, he worked for the Center for Bioethical Reform.
Okay.
And then I worked with him at CBR for a year, and then we co-founded, if you will, Created Equal. Mark is the executive director. He's definitely the visionary in charge.
Right.
I'm the director of training, but we kind of work together, and we have also a colleague who also started from Friends for Life
Oh, my.
named Jamie Beer.
Oh, I've heard of that name.
Yeah, Jamie, she's our director of outreach.
Oh, she sounds like a very lovely lady.
She is, and Mark, he brings he has been in this battle for over 15 years, training students and arming them with the truth to go engage in the public square. So he, as our executive director,
How
really
long
sets
you
the
known
tone. I met Mark when I was engaged to my wife, which was over 5 years ago.
Oh, muscle time.
Thank you. We're married now. So we'll have our 5-year anniversary soon.
Oh, yeah, baby?
We have a 2.5-year-old.
Oh, my stars.
So yeah, we met Mark then. And when I went to a college campus, Ohio State in Columbus, Ohio, and I saw what he was doing, which was, again, he had the pictures of victims, but he also had students with the knowledge of how to graciously defend life. I saw it was a great opportunity for the pro-life and pro-choice sides to actually communicate. And that's what we need,
That's what we
with
need.
these boot camps. We need communication so we can change hearts and minds.
And your goal in life is?
My goal in life is to raise up a radical generation
Right.
of students who are willing to boldly yet lovingly convey the truth to save children.
Talk softly, but carry
A big stick. That's it, yeah. Be smiling and be loving,
Yes.
but don't hide the truth.
No, never hide the truth. Well, thank you, Seth,
Thank you, Patty, so much.
for coming on to my show. This is Patty Hunter and Seth Drayer. I'd like to have you on as my guest again, if you like.
I would love to come back. Thank you,
Oh,
Patty.
lovely. Well, we'll talk with some other people in a moment. So thank you, Seth,
Thank you, Patty.
and we'll talk at you later in a moment. And with me now is Pam Stenzel.
Yes.
Hello, you're the key speaker.
Patty, good to meet you.
Patty Hunter, yeah, Patty's page.
Nice.
Anyways, you are the keynote speaker for Friends for Life, the boot camp. What brought you here? I mean,
Well, you know, I've been traveling around the country speaking to about 500,000 teenagers every year around the
Oh.
world. And prior to speaking full time, I spent 9 years directing a crisis pregnancy center in the Minneapolis area. And for 9 years, I would have girls come into my clinic saying, Pam, I didn't know. I mean, if somebody would have told me that this is what was going to happen, I would have made a different choice. No one told me. And I realized that we had a lot of students out there making decisions about sex, having no idea what the consequence of that choice would be. You know, and as a crisis pregnancy center, we would so much rather see students before they end up in our clinic than after.
You mean teach?
Yeah,
going to
I would
schools?
rather go to your church and talk to your youth group and talk to your kids before they end up at a crisis pregnancy center. That's the prevention.
At what age?
Well, I speak to 7th grade through high school and university. So 7th grade is the youngest I go.
Oh, wow.
But
That's a low grade.
well, no, not really.
Not really? How old are they at that
Culture in the
time?
media is speaking to our kids about sex every single day. And sadly, in our culture, our kids are exposed to way too much, way too soon. Now, I still believe the parents are the primary educators of their kids. The job of teaching values to your children is 100% yours. It's the parents. And so it's really, really important that parents be giving that. But when we get into puberty, when we get into the 7th grade and above, it's really important for students to hear a message from someone, maybe even outside of that, to reinforce the values that the parents are teaching.
Well, thank you, Pam. I know it wasn't a very long interview, but I'm glad that you came here to Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Thank you. We're
And
looking
I hope
forward to it.
I hope to have you back on my show again.
Awesome. Thank you,
So
Patty.
I'm
God
going to
bless.
be talking to someone else in about a moment, so hang in there and we'll be right back. Monica Kelsey.
Yes.
Hello, how are
Nice
you?
to meet you again. Good to
Oh,
see you
yeah,
again.
you were on my show not more than so
months
many
ago.
months ago.
Yeah.
Tell us your role with the Friends for Life pro-life boot camp. What are
Well,
you here for?
Well, we're here to educate youth on the importance of every life.
Right.
And of course, you know my story. Maybe
Yeah.
your audience doesn't know, but my birth mother was 17 years old. She was brutally attacked and raped and left along the side of the road to die. But this was back in 1972 when abortion was illegal, even in the cases of rape.
Oh,
And my
yeah.
life was saved. So, of course, now I go around the country and I talk to youth about the importance of every life, not just those that are planned, those that are conceived with wine and roses. Those babies that are conceived with rape and through
Yeah.
rape and incest deserve to be protected as well.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we're all human, no matter how big we are, and we all have our rights. So what are you doing now with your life? Like you say, you're going traveling. Are you going out of the country too?
I've been to, last December, I went to South Africa for 15 days.
Oh, wow.
Spoke 15 times in 16 days.
Are they trying to force abortion in Africa now?
Abortion is legalized in Africa.
no.
It's horrible. It's totally horrible. But I was also in Ecuador last year.
Oh.
And they were trying to legalize abortion in the cases of rape. And
Was the UN trying to force them?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter where we go. It's the same story. They want to play the rape card. The woman's life that we think we should be having more compassion for than the child.
Yeah.
We can't misplace our compassion when we're dealing with a rape victim,
Yeah.
because when we put too much compassion on the woman, we forget that there's an innocent life that hangs in the balance, and we need to protect them both.
Was when your mom was raped, did they catch the man?
Actually, he was charged. Yes, they
Oh,
charges
good.
were yes. So, but even in the situations where they're not, we still have to protect the women and the child.
Yes, definitely.
So that's what we do. This is one of the things that we're doing with this boot camp around America. Is we have to work hard. 41 years of this.
Yeah. Oh, that's too long.
And what have we gotten? Abortion is still legal in all 50 states.
Oh, well, Indiana is trying very hard to not have abortions. I'm glad we don't have one in here in Fort Wayne. Abortion is here.
Well, you got to remember, though, it's still legal in Fort Wayne.
Oh.
If we want an abortion doctor to come in with a backup doctor,
We're gonna have
he
to fight
he can
tooth
come
and
right
nail.
in. The only reason we don't have one is because our abortion doctor doesn't
I
have
know.
a backup doctor.
Oh, yeah.
So, but make no mistake. I'm sure people are looking at this territory. It's a money market. So,
Well, thank you, Monica.
well, you're welcome.
Sorry
Patty,
for
again.
going a couple seconds blank there, but
Oh, it's okay.
thank you for coming on my show, and we'll see you with another person that I'm going to be talking to. Her name is Kristi, and so thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, this is Kristi Hofferber. Hofferber. Okay, I'm sorry. I knew I was going to say it wrong. So, I'm a member of the Lutherans for Life here in Allen County, Right to Life. Now, why did you come here? What happened to you when you were conceived? I mean, what happened to your mother?
I'm here tonight to share my story. I'm one of 6 children conceived in rape and incest. And of those 6 children, I am the only survivor.
Are you touring around helping the kids?
I've been traveling with Living Exceptions with Monica Kelsey
Oh, yeah.
and with Pam Stenzel, sharing the message that every child, no matter how they're conceived, is a valuable life, and every child is worth saving.
So the man that had injured your mother and
Yes. My
Was
mother
he-
endured over 20 years of sexual abuse by her
Oh.
own father. And
he
as
was
a result-
arrested
He-
eventually.
He was. He did serve a very short sentence.
Short sentence. That's not right. They have to change the laws.
Yes.
Really do.
As the only survivor of those 6, I had been placed for adoption,
Right.
and they could not find me.
Oh,
So
right.
there was no evidence. There was
Oh.
nothing to prove that he had committed the crimes that he was being accused of. So he served a very short sentence, and my mother has a lifetime of trauma to endure. And I'm
You are the result.
the result of that.
But you are a survivor, girlfriend.
I'm
And
a
I'm
survivor.
glad that you are. Because otherwise I wouldn't be meeting you now, and you wouldn't be helping other people, especially the kids, the teenagers,
Yes.
and the young adults, especially the little ladies. You're also here to help the young men, teach them how to respect
Right.
and love their daughters or without doing anything harm.
Yes.
So I'd like to thank you, my dear.
Well, thank you very much.
As a short interview, but I got a lot out of our conversation, and it's very informative. Thank you very much for coming on to my show,
Well, thank you
Kristi.
so much for having me.
And thank you so much.
Thank you,
Now,
Patty.
Kristi is going to be speaking at the boot camp tonight. So I wish her well, and spread the word, girlfriend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Patty. I'm going to say goodbye from the University of St. Francis. We're going to be going in a couple of minutes to see the Friends for Life Pro-Life Boot Camp kickoff event. Now, I can't film that, but I did interview the main speakers and Seth Drayer, who is one of the teachers at University of St. Francis about pro-life. So I'd like to thank you for coming into my world, and thank you. I'll see you next week.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed.